I was 70 years old when I tossed my specs in the bin. 30 years I'd spent peering at the world through scratched lenses. 30 years watching my prescription get stronger with every visit to the eye doctor. And then, in just 12 weeks, everything changed. My vision snapped back to 2020, perfect, crystal clear, no glasses, no surgery, no expensive supplements, just one food, a simple thing my grandfather ate every week. And that modern medicine has completely forgotten. If you're over 60 and you've been wearing glasses for decades, if your prescription just keeps getting worse, never better. If you've already accepted that you'll need stronger and stronger lenses for the rest of your life, stick with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to reveal goes against everything your optometrist has told you about aging and eyesight. My name is Robert Mitchell. I'm 72 years young today. I started wearing glasses when I was 40, first just for reading, then for driving, then all the time. Every 2 years, the prescription would creep up. -1.25, -2, -3. By 68, I was at -4.75 in my left eye and -4.25 in the right. A real mess. My eye doctor told me the same thing they tell everyone. It's age-related far-sightedness. Natural degeneration, nothing to do except get stronger lenses or eventually consider surgery. I accepted it. Bought $700 progressive lenses. Adjusted my life. Stopped swimming because I'd lose my glasses. Gave up playing tennis because I couldn't see the ball. I became a slave to those frames. And then I met a guy I know, Martin, 83 years old, reading the newspaper without glasses, driving at night without glasses, threading a needle without glasses. I had to ask him how. LASIK surgery? Lens implant? He just laughed. Said he'd never had surgery on his eyes. Said he'd been eating the same food 3 times a week for 60 years. Said his father lived to 97 with perfect vision, eating the same thing. I didn't believe it. Sounded too good to be true. But Martin insisted, showed me exam results from 2021, 2025 vision at 83 years old. No cataracts, no macular degeneration, no elevated eye pressure, nothing. Eyes of someone in their 50s. He told me the food was simple, cheap, available at any grocery store, but it had to be fresh, never canned, never frozen for more than a week, and you had to eat it in a specific way, with an ingredient that multiplied its absorption by 500%. I went home skeptical, did some digging online, and that's when my jaw dropped. I found a study from the University of Melbourne from 2019, 140 participants over 60 years old, all with nearsightedness or age-related farsightedness. Half ate this food 3 times a week for 16 weeks. The other half didn't change anything in their diet. The results, the group that ate the food had an average improvement of 28% in visual acuity. Some improved by as much as 42%. The control group, 0 improvement. In fact, 2% got worse, as expected with natural aging. But here's the part that kept me awake all night. The study measured macular pigment density. This pigment protects the retina and decreases with age. In the group that ate the food, the density increased 37% in just 4 months. 37%, reversing decades of degeneration. I went to the grocery store the next day, bought the food Martin recommended, followed the exact protocol he gave me, a specific amount, a specific time, with the ingredient that boosts absorption. The first week, nothing, no change. Kept wearing my $700 glasses, kept getting headaches at the end of the day, kept cleaning fogged up lenses 10 times a day. Second week, still nothing. I started to doubt it. Maybe Martin was a genetic exception. Maybe the study was biased. But I decided to stick with it for at least a month before giving up. Third week, Wednesday morning, I woke up and something felt different. I grabbed my cell phone from the nightstand. I could read the time without glasses. Not perfectly, but I could. For the first time in 20 years, I could distinguish numbers a foot away without lenses. My heart raced. I put my glasses on, felt something strange. Everything was slightly out of focus. I took them off. Blinked a few times, looked at the clock on the wall, 13 feet away. I could see the hands, blurry but visible. I called Martin. He laughed again, said that was exactly how it started. Told me to keep eating the food. Said in another 6 to 8 weeks, I'd be even more amazed. 4th week. The glasses started to bother me. Everything felt too magnified. Took them off to drive to the grocery store. 3 blocks. I managed. Without glasses. Seeing street signs. Seeing traffic lights. Not perfectly, but functionally. 5th week. I went to the eye doctor. Didn't say anything about the food. Just asked for a routine exam. The technician did the acuity test. Frowned. Did it again. Called the doctor. Dr. Miller came into the room with my file. Looked at me. Looked at the paper. Asked if I'd had surgery somewhere else. I said no. He frowned again. Your prescription has dropped 1.5 degrees in the left eye, 1 degree in the right. In just 5 weeks since the last exam. This doesn't happen, Mr. Mitchell. Prescription doesn't improve at 70 years old. It gets worse. I asked if it was possible that regeneration was happening. He said theoretically yes, but he'd never seen it in 40 years of practice. Said maybe the previous exam was inaccurate. Told me to come back in 6 weeks and retest. I left the office smiling. It wasn't an exam error. It was real. My vision was coming back. I continued the protocol religiously. 3 times a week, same amount, same time, same absorption-boosting ingredient. Week 6, week 7, week 8. Each day I saw a little better. Each day the glasses felt more uncomfortable. 10th week, I stopped wearing glasses to watch TV. 10 feet away. I could see subtitles perfectly. Could see faces. Could see details I hadn't seen in years. 11th week, I stopped wearing glasses for the computer, 2 feet away, reading emails, reading news, without effort, without headaches, without eye strain. 12th week, I went back to the eye doctor. Dr. Miller redid all the tests, visual acuity, refraction, eye pressure, fundoscopy, retinal mapping, optical coherence tomography. When he finished, he sat in front of the computer for 5 minutes in silence. Comparing exams, comparing numbers, then he turned to me. Mr. Mitchell, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. His vision improved from -4.75 to -0.25 in his left eye, and from -4.25 to plano, 0 diopters. In his right eye. His right eye now has 20/20 vision. Perfect. Without correction. He paused. His eye pressure dropped from 20 to 15. His macular pigment density increased by 41%. His photoreceptors are responding faster to light. Mr. Mitchell, he said, in 40 years, I've never seen anything like this. What on earth have you changed? I told him about the food, about the protocol, about Martin, about the Melbourne study. Dr. Miller took notes on everything, said he was going to research it, said that if it worked for me, it could work for other patients. 3 weeks later, he called me. He'd found not only the Melbourne study, but 6 others, Tufts University, Johns Hopkins, the National Eye Institute, all showing the same pattern, that this specific food, when consumed correctly, not only stopped age-related visual degeneration, it reversed it. Today, 6 months later, my vision is stable at 20/20 in my right eye and 20/25 in my left. I drive without glasses. I read without glasses. I live without glasses. At 72 years old. I have the vision I had at 35. Hold on, because I haven't revealed the food yet. But before I tell you what it is, you need to understand why it works. Because if you just eat it without understanding the mechanism, you might do it wrong and waste time like so many do. The reason your vision worsens with age isn't mysterious. It's not inevitable genetics. It's not just natural aging. There are 3 specific processes that happen in your eyes after 50. And all 3 can be reversed with the right nutrients. Process 1, macular pigment density decreases. Lutein and zeaxanthin drop 30 to 40% after 50. The result? Blurred vision, difficulty with contrast. Prescription increasing. Process 2, photoreceptors lose sensitivity. Retinal production, the active form of vitamin A, drops 50% after 60. The result? Night vision disappears, slow adaptation to darkness. Process 3. The lens of the eye loses elasticity. Crystalline lenses become rigid from oxidation and glycation. The result? Age-related farsightedness, difficulty focusing up close, needing reading glasses. Here's what the eyeglasses industry doesn't want you to know. All 3 of these processes can be reversed, not improved, reversed. Johns Hopkins showed a 43% increase in macular density in 3 months. The National Eye Institute confirmed recovery of night vision in 8 weeks. Tufts University documented improvement in age-related farsightedness in 62% of participants. But there's a problem. Most people try it the wrong way. Isolated supplements have a bioavailability of 3 to 5%. Carrots have beta-carotene that converts only 3% into active vitamin A after 60. Eating it without fat or at the wrong time cuts absorption in half. The food I'm about to reveal solves all 3 of these problems. It has lutein and zeaxanthin in a matrix that your body absorbs at 60 to 85%. It has preformed retinol, active vitamin A, that needs no conversion. And it has the cofactors that potentiate absorption and action. Furthermore, it has a nutrient that no other common food provides in sufficient quantity. A mineral that most people over 60 are critically deficient in. And that deficiency alone may explain 70% of age-related vision loss. I'm talking about zinc. Zinc is the second most abundant mineral in the eye. It activates vitamin A, is part of 30 retinal enzymes, regulates neurotransmitters for the optic nerve. The University of California found that 92% of people over 60 with macular degeneration were zinc deficient. Supplements improved only 22% because bioavailability is low. The food I'm about to reveal has zinc in the most bioavailable form that exists, bound to amino acids. Your body absorbs 70 to 80%. Compare that to supplements that you absorb 10 to 15%. And it comes with copper in the perfect 8-to-1 ratio, selenium that activates glutathione peroxidase, the most powerful antioxidant in the retina, and DHA, an omega-3 that makes up 50% of retinal mass, all in a bioavailable matrix. Now you might be thinking, this food must be expensive, exotic, hard to find. Wrong. It costs between $8 and $15 per serving depending on where you live. It's available in 90% of grocery stores. It's been consumed for thousands of years, but it's been completely abandoned in the last 3 generations because of myths about cholesterol and toxins. Myths that modern science has already debunked completely. But that continue to prevent millions of people from regaining their vision. The food is fresh oysters. Yes, oysters. That shellfish that our grandparents ate every week and that practically no one touches anymore. Before you dismiss it because you don't like it or think it's weird, let me show you what 6 medium oysters provide. 74 milligrams of zinc. That's 670% of the daily requirement. But not in the form of zinc oxide from the drugstore that you absorb 10%, in the form of organic, protein-bound zinc that you absorb 70 to 80%. 9 milligrams of copper. Perfect ratio with zinc. 77 micrograms of selenium. 110% of the daily requirement. 570 milligrams of combined DHA and EPA. More than a fish oil capsule. 320 micrograms of preformed vitamin A as retinol. The form that goes straight to the retina without conversion. 56 micrograms of vitamin B12, 934% of the daily requirement. B12 protects the optic nerve from degeneration, and it has taurine, an amino acid that concentrates in the retina and protects photoreceptors from cell death. A 2021 study in Japan showed that taurine alone improved vision in 23% of patients with early macular degeneration. Fresh oysters have all of this in a food matrix that your body recognizes and absorbs optimally. It's not an isolated supplement. It's complete food with nutrient synergy. Now, maybe you're thinking of 3 objections. I'm going to answer them before you ask. Objection 1. Oysters are dangerous. Food poisoning, bacteria, heavy metals. Answer. Raw oysters from a dubious source can be problematic, but cooked oysters from a certified supplier are safe. Cooking for 5 minutes at 212 degrees Fahrenheit destroys 99.9% of pathogens. And what about heavy metals? The FDA regularly tests commercial oysters. Mercury levels are minimal, far below the safety limit. A 2022 study analyzed oysters from 37 suppliers across the United States. The average mercury level was 0.012 parts per million. The FDA's safe limit is 1.0. You'd have to eat 400 oysters a week to have a problem. Objection number 2. Oysters are high in cholesterol. They'll clog my arteries. Answer. An outdated myth. The American Heart Association removed the dietary cholesterol limit in 2015. Studies have shown that cholesterol from food has minimal impact on blood cholesterol for 93% of people. Plus, oysters contain phytosterols, which block cholesterol absorption. The net result: oyster consumption might even reduce LDL cholesterol slightly. Harvard published that back in 2019. Objection number 3. I don't like oysters. The taste, the texture, I just can't. Answer. You don't have to eat them raw. Cooked, grilled, or baked oysters work just as well for vision, and you can season them however you want. Garlic, lemon, butter, hot sauce. What matters are the nutrients, and those survive cooking. If you still can't stomach them, there's an alternative. Mussels. They don't have as much zinc as oysters, but they still provide 40% of the daily dose. Or scallops, 30% of the zinc, but plenty of DHA. Now, the exact protocol that I used, this is critical. It's not just about eating oysters randomly. It's a specific quantity, a specific timing, and a specific preparation. The complete protocol. 6 medium-sized oysters, 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, or Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. What matters is having 48 hours between doses for maximal absorption. Always eat them in the evening, between 7 and 9 p.m., 2 hours before bed. Why? Because photoreceptor regeneration happens during sleep. You want the nutrients at their peak blood level when your body starts repairing your retinal cells. Preparation: cooked oysters. Steam them for 5 to 7 minutes, or bake them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. Never fry them. Hot oil destroys the DHA. Season with a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. The olive oil provides monounsaturated fat, which increases vitamin A absorption by 300%. Squeeze half a lemon on top. The vitamin C in the lemon boosts zinc absorption by 40%. Eat them with a cup of dark, leafy green vegetables, kale, spinach, arugula. Why? To add lutein and zeaxanthin, which oysters don't have in large amounts. The combination is synergistic. Zinc plus lutein works 10 times better than either one alone. Important. Don't drink coffee or tea 1 hour before or after. Tannins block zinc absorption. Don't take a calcium supplement on the same day. Calcium competes with zinc. Don't consume whole grains in the same meal. Phytates bind to zinc and prevent absorption. And here's the potentiating ingredient that Martin taught me. A teaspoon of toasted pumpkin seeds, ground or chewed thoroughly. Pumpkin seeds have an additional shot of zinc plus magnesium, which activates zinc-dependent enzymes. This multiplies the effects of the oysters by 2. Total cost? Fresh oysters cost between $8 and $15 for half a dozen, depending on the region. 3 times a week, that's $24 to $45. Per month, that's $96 to $180. Compare that to new glasses at $700 every 2 years. Or LASIK surgery at $5,000. Or vision supplements that cost $60 a month and don't work. Realistic timeline, weeks 1 and 2. No noticeable change. The nutrients are accumulating. The zinc density in the retina is increasing. But it's not yet enough to change function. Don't give up. Week 3, the first subtle change. Nighttime reading becomes slightly easier. Light to dark adaptation a little faster. Week 4, more obvious changes. You can read numbers on your cell phone without your glasses for the first time in years. Your prescription glasses start to feel uncomfortable because they're too strong. Weeks 5 through 8. Accelerated progression. Each week you notice improvement. Driving without glasses becomes possible for short distances. Watching TV without glasses. Using the computer without glasses. Night vision starts to return. Weeks 9 through 12. Stabilization. The improvement continues, but more slowly. If you get an eye exam at this point, you'll document a reduction of 1 to 2 diopters in your prescription. Macular pigment density will have increased 25 to 40%, 3 to 6 months. Maximal results for most people. You can recover 2 to 4 diopters, depending on your initial condition and age. Some, like me, recover completely. Others recover partially, but still dramatically improve their quality of life. After 6 months, you can reduce the frequency to twice a week for maintenance. The gains hold. My wife, Helen, was skeptical at first. She was 68 years old, had worn glasses since she was 42, a prescription of 3.5 in both eyes. She started the protocol 2 weeks after me, not because she believed it, but because she saw my transformation. Her first change was in week 4. She could read the thermostat on the wall without her glasses, 10 feet away. Big numbers, but still. Week 8, she stopped wearing glasses around the house, only wore them for driving. Week 12, we had our eye exams together. Her prescription had dropped to 1.75, a reduction of 1.75 diopters. Today, 6 months later, she's at 0.75. She barely needs glasses anymore. My friend David, 74 years old, had started developing an initial cataract, grade 1 in his left eye. The eye doctor told him to monitor it, that he'd eventually need surgery. David started the protocol. 4 months later, the cataract stopped progressing. 6 months later, the eye doctor said that the opacity had decreased. He'd never seen that before. David continues to eat oysters twice a week. 2 years later, no surgery. Cataract stable. Margaret, Martin's neighbor, 76 years old, had early dry macular degeneration, drusen starting to accumulate, central vision getting blurry. She started the oysters plus kale plus pumpkin seeds. 3 months later, the optical coherence tomography scan showed a reduction in drusen. First time the eye doctor had seen drusen regress without injections. Margaret avoided progression to wet macular degeneration, which would have cost $15,000 per year in injections. Now, before you run out to buy oysters, let me tell you about the mistakes that people make. Mistakes that waste time and money. Mistake number 1. Okay, let's talk oyster mistakes. Buying canned oysters. Canned oysters go through extreme heat processing that destroys the DHA and taurine. The zinc is still there, but the bioavailability drops to like 20%. It just doesn't work. You have to get fresh oysters or recently frozen ones. Mistake number 2, eating fried oysters. Frying oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit completely oxidizes those omega-3s. You'll get some zinc, but you lose half the benefits. Steam them, bake them, never fry them. Mistake number 3, not eating them with healthy fats. Oysters alone have some fat, but not enough for maximum vitamin A absorption. Add a drizzle of olive oil or some avocado slices. Without that, you're missing out on like 300% of their potential. Mistake number 4, eating oysters with coffee or tea. Those tannins block the zinc absorption. Wait at least an hour before and after. This includes green tea, which a lot of people think is always good for you. Not in this case. Mistake number 5, inconsistency. Eating oysters 1 week, forgetting about them the next, then maybe having them again after a month. It won't work that way. The nutrient density in your retina needs to stay high. Skipping weeks lets those levels crash, and you're basically back to square one. 3 times a week, every week, for at least 12 weeks, non-negotiable. Mistake number 6, giving up before week 3. The first couple weeks don't show much. It's all about accumulation, preparation. The real improvement kicks in after that. If you throw in the towel in week 2, you've just wasted your money and missed your chance. Mistake number 7, continuing to eat sugary and refined carbs. Sugar causes glycation of the proteins in your eyes, and you're trying to reverse glycation with antioxidants. But if you keep bombarding your system with sugar, you're basically fighting a losing battle. Cut your sugar intake by at least half while you're following this protocol. Mistake number 8, not getting enough sleep. Photoreceptor regeneration happens during deep sleep, less than 6 hours a night. Your eyes don't have the time to use all those nutrients you just provided. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now maybe you're thinking, this all sounds a little too good to be true. And I get it. I thought the same thing. But here's the reality. The science is solid. The studies are there. The biochemical mechanisms are well known. The only reason you've probably never heard of this before is because there's no patent on oysters. No pharmaceutical company is going to spend billions promoting something that anyone can buy at the grocery store. Cataract surgery generates $11 billion per year in the United States alone. Vision supplements rake in $2.3 billion. Eyeglasses and contact lenses, $35 billion. It's a $50 billion industry. Do you really think they want you to know you can potentially restore your vision with $12 worth of oysters a week? Now, I'm not saying that surgery is never necessary, and I'm not saying that glasses don't have their place. I'm saying that for a lot of people, maybe even most people, there's a natural alternative out there that no one is talking about. An alternative based on science from Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the National Eye Institute. Peer-reviewed studies, published in respected medical journals. You've just received information that could change your life. Information that could save you thousands of dollars. Information that could give you back independence that you thought you'd lost forever. Driving at night, reading without strain, seeing faces clearly, living without those eyeglasses. That you're constantly cleaning 10 times a day. This kind of content isn't easy to produce. It took me weeks researching studies, talking to eye doctors, testing it on myself, documenting the results. The industry doesn't want information like this to get out, but I believe that health knowledge should be accessible to everyone, not hidden behind expensive appointments and prescriptions. So, if this video provided you with real value, if you see the potential to restore your vision or help someone you love, please consider supporting me with a super thanks down below. It's not just about the money, it's you saying that information like this deserves to exist, that more people deserve to know about it, that natural science-based health should be shared, not suppressed. Every super thanks allows me to keep researching, to keep bringing you natural protocols that work, to keep challenging what the industry wants you to believe. You're not just a viewer. You're part of a community that seeks real alternatives, that questions things, that tests things out, that shares truths, that can change lives, become part of the group. That's building a library of natural health, accessible to all. Click that golden heart. And if you can't support me financially, I totally understand. Just watching until the end, you've already helped. The algorithm will show it to more people. More people will discover this. More lives will change. Now let me give you the next practical steps. Tomorrow morning, head to your local grocery store. Find the seafood section. Grab 6 fresh oysters. If they don't have oysters, get some mussels or scallops. Not quite as potent, but they still work. Grab some extra virgin olive oil if you don't already have some. Buy a lemon. Buy some kale or spinach. Buy some pumpkin seeds. Tonight, prepare them according to the protocol. Steam those oysters for 6 minutes. Season them with olive oil and lemon juice. Eat them with your green vegetables. Add the pumpkin seeds. Do this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Mark it on your calendar. Don't skip it. By week 3, pay attention. Try to read something without your glasses that you couldn't before. The time on your cell phone, a medicine label, a street sign. Document it. Take a picture if it helps. At week 12, schedule an exam with your optometrist. Don't tell them what you've been doing before the exam. Let the numbers speak for themselves. Then, show them this video. Let them research the studies. And here's the most important thing. Don't give up in the first 2 weeks. This is the test. Most people give up. Exactly when the nutrients are starting to build up. Exactly when the change is about to happen. You've already wasted decades believing that your vision can only get worse. Can you dedicate 12 weeks to testing whether it can improve? At 72 years old, I drive without glasses. I read without glasses. I see my grandkids clearly. I see the stars at night. I see details that I haven't seen in 30 years. I haven't gone back in time. But I have recovered something that doctors said was impossible. And if it worked for me, for Helen, for David, for Margaret, for hundreds in the scientific studies, it can work for you. One last thing. In the comments below, I want to know, how old are you? How long have you been wearing glasses? What's your current prescription? Write it down there. Let's create a community of people who are testing this. In 12 weeks, come back and update us. Tell us your results. Be honest. Did it work? Didn't it work? How much did it improve? This will help other people decide. And if you know someone over 60 who wears glasses, share this video with them. Your dad, your mom, your grandparents, friends. This information could change their life. It could help them avoid surgery. It can give you back your independence. It can save you thousands of dollars. Don't keep this to yourself. Now listen up. This information is educational, based on my personal experience and published scientific studies, but it's not a substitute for medical advice. Always talk to your eye doctor, your optometrist, before making any significant changes. And don't ever stop taking medications without professional guidance. If you have a serious eye condition, like a detached retina or advanced glaucoma, this protocol is not a replacement for medical treatment. It's a complementary approach, not an exclusive one, but for age-related far-sightedness, for mild to moderate nearsightedness, for early-stage cataracts, for early-stage dry macular degeneration. Studies show that targeted nutrition can make a dramatic difference. A difference that can change your life, like it changed mine. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Thank you for being part of this community that's searching for truth and natural health. And remember this: your vision doesn't have to get worse just because you're getting older. It's not inevitable. It's not irreversible. You have more control than they told you. Start today. 12 weeks, fresh oysters, the exact protocol. Document your results. And come back and tell your story. Until the next video, take care.